Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Look at her mess. It's everywhere. Don't touch me. No. 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 My poor mother. She had a nice, quiet, peaceful life before we came here. My mother said, I gotta go out today. I gotta get out. My mom hates to be in the house, and because of the snowstorm, she was trapped in the house for like 2 days.
No talk.
Between me, my kid, and my dad,
No talk.
my mom going crazy.
No talk.
She said, I'm leaving. I said, where you going? She goes, I'm going out. No, 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 no. Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to a cold winter day. Wow, I haven't seen one of these days in three years? I think about 3, maybe 4, I'm not sure. It's been a while. Oh my Lord. So we had fun yesterday playing in the snow. I think we're past our quarantine days. We didn't have any symptoms. We didn't get tested only because neither of us had any symptoms, and it's hard to find any tests right now in the stores. The at-home tests are all gone, and the lines are crazy right now for people getting COVID tested. It's a little bit bizarre. There's like a huge surge in hospitalizations, but I read an article that the New York just published their statistics, and more than 50% of the hospitalizations are due to non-COVID, non-COVID reasons. So it's not the COVID that's filling the hospitals up. And only a small percentage of the hospitalizations are COVID, or they're serious COVID or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, it's kind of a downer to hear all the news about COVID all the time. I'm heading to the grocery store because it's been like over a week since I went to the grocery store. And I gotta keep up with that so I can keep losing weight. I'm so proud of my wife. She just did an amazing job out in one of the islands off Taliban. I've never been to that island. There's so many islands in that area. And those islands, they don't have any electricity. And it's just, they're all fishing villages, And that's why if you go to Taliban Market, the wet market, they have some of the best seafood. Because all their products come from all those islands. Those guys are all fishing 7 days a week and bringing all their catch to the market in Taliban. Tagbilaran has a really good market too for fish, but it's different. They have like a lot of giant tuna there, a lot of big squid there. They have a lot of the big pelagics there. Taliban has a lot of the smaller fish, a lot of shellfish, scallops, crabs. Any crabs that you see in the Tagbilaran market come from any of the crabs that you see in the Tagbilaran market. They come from probably Taliban or Ubay, that area. So it's been quite the journey here in Boston. Things are changing like every day. You know, the situation for me, for Lynn, it's very fluid. You know, it's like constantly changing. We're constantly moving things around. I don't know what we're gonna do, if I'm gonna go back to the Philippines or if I'm gonna wait here. We need to figure that out. But come Monday, this is the weekend right now, so come Monday I'm gonna head to the post office and submit my application for my visa for the Philippines to go back. It's only $30. If I don't use it, I don't use it. And it's good for 3 months, maybe 6 months, I forget which one, 3 or 6. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna send that in, and we'll see what happens with Lynn's visa to come to the United States. I really miss the Philippines. I never thought I'd say that. I never thought you'd hear me say that I miss the Philippines, because life there can be very, very easy, very simple. It can also be a headache. You have to be able to adjust and adapt to living in the Philippines. It has its good and its bad. Right now they're dealing with no power. So the main roads in Enda have power. So if you happen to have a house on the main road, you've got power. But if you're on one of the side streets like we are, you have no power. And they're not really worried right now about the secondary roads. And maybe it's not going to be till April or June that they get to all the secondary roads. So that's just the way it goes. Lynn can't really run the generator too much anymore because she's blowing her entire monthly budget on diesel. And a budget is a budget. You know, you can't get blood out of a stone or water out of a stone, so they say, you know. So she's learning to deal with living without an air conditioner. But if you compare it to what other people are going through, I mean, we're very lucky. She's very lucky. She knows that. I mean, she knows how lucky she is. But, you know, I mean, we did spend a lot of money building that house. A lot of money. But living in the Philippines can bring a lot of challenges. Sometimes you have no water. Sometimes you have no power. The hospitals system there during this COVID is just ridiculous. You could be dying. They won't bring you in the hospital unless you get a negative COVID test. They will not bring you inside. And the fees right now are outrageous. But before the COVID, I really don't have anything negative to say about the hospitals and the medical there. Never really cost me a fortune until after the COVID. Then it got really expensive. I had like a little cyst inside the cheek of my mouth, that I had since I was a child, and it just got really big all of a sudden. I had it taken out there. They did a great job. Had it tested, everything was good. I was working on my crown before I left, then I couldn't wait any longer, so because I was coming home. Dentistry there is, our dentist is excellent. Yeah. So traveling back to the Philippines, I think it's going to be really difficult. So that's why I'm in no rush. I'm hoping if I go back, it'll be probably sometime in March, and I'm hoping by then the wave of Omicron starts to die down, or at least flattens out a little bit. They say right now it's like peaking. And that'd be the same for the Philippines, because if you test positive at your quarantine hotel in the Philippines, it's gonna cost you a fortune, because they're gonna ship you out of your $30 a night quarantine hotel, and they're gonna put you in a stricter quarantine hotel that's like $200 a night. Okay, and I just read someone's horrific story about how on the 5th day they tested positive, and they were supposed to leave on the 7th day, and they ended up testing positive even though they didn't have a single symptom, and they got shipped this. You're supposed to go to the Bureau of Quarantine, supposed to have special facilities set up if you test positive that are free. You got shipped there, and you have to stay there for 10 more days. So this woman's story was that the BOQ didn't even get back to them. They just had officials come and get them and put them in an expensive hotel. They didn't have any choice, and they ended up spending 150,000 pesos. I think that's like $3,000 on 10 days, on 10 extra days quarantine because they tested positive, and that doesn't even include the food. So for me, that's a little scary, because it's already going to cost me about $2,500 to get back, and then if I have to spend another $3,000, oh my lord, it's going to be like $5,000 or $6,000 just to get back to the Philippines, only to fly back here like 6 months later or a year later. I don't know. You see all these things that pop up, and they change your situation constantly. That's why I hope people can understand. Like, if I say I'm going back to the Philippines, then 2 months later I don't end up going back, it's because the situation is always changing. We don't, you have to really think about what you're doing. And it's hard. It's so hard because Lynn is very emotional these past few days. It's really, really hitting her hard now, being without her daughter, not having me around. I mean, but a mother and their child. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's my fault, but Lynn allowed me to bring Thea, and I'm happy I did. My mom is so happy to spend time with her. Even though my daughter's a little difficult, but she's gotten much better since we've been here. But she's still, and I can't blame her. I can't blame my kid. I mean, she's only 3 years old, but it's hard for her sometimes to follow the rules. My mom has tenants downstairs, and Thea likes to run, jump. You hear all that noise downstairs. And the tenants, they're young people, and they're working from home right now because of the COVID. And I wouldn't want my mom to lose her tenants because of us. So we've been working on that with Thea, trying to get her not to run, not to jump. I mean, she's so bang, bang, bang with her feet. It's just the way she is. She's always been like that. And it's like a double-edged sword for me, because I want her to be to learn how to listen. If you tell her something, I want her to behave appropriately, be thoughtful, be respectful. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is I feel like she's losing a lot of her freedoms that she had in the Philippines. You know, she had a lot of freedom, a lot of free will there. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed watching my kid be free, to be able to do anything that she wanted. Of course, not anything, but, not to be having to discipline her every hour of the day. So, just trying to ramble on while I'm going to the grocery store. So these are the trials and tribulations that I'm going through here in the USA. Lynn is keeping herself busy by helping some of the victims. Maybe you guys are asking, well, why does she keep going to those different islands? And a big reason for that is because her past job, when she was young, like 17, 18, 19 years old, her ex had a transportation business, with the boat. He had a lot of boats, and his job was to transport goods to all the islands, water, food, whatever they needed, canned goods. That was his work. And so Lynn's job was to go to all these islands, service the accounts, make sure the deliveries, happened, look for new customers. So the islands, Lynn, she's very loving, caring person, and a lot of these people that she met over the years, long before I ever came into the picture, are very close to her, like a second family. So she's very emotional about the islands and wanting to help all the people that she knows, that need the help. It's not just because not that she knows them, but she knows the situation, how difficult life is there, even on a normal day. On a normal day, life is so difficult. And then you throw in the typhoon, where people's belongings, their money, all gone, all washed away.